Are you struggling with team communication through Facebook? Maybe you're overwhelmed because you have a million messages from your team in your inbox while trying to work your personal business. If this is you, stay tuned because I'm going to share some tips with you today on how to use Telegram as a way for you to be able to build your online business and be able to help you communicate with your team. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. The very first thing you want to know about Telegram is it is a free app, very similar to WhatsApp, however, not owned by Facebook. Okay. This is a fully encrypted service. You can make phone calls, do video chats, you can have broadcast channels, and we're going to go into all that stuff in just a few moments. Okay. But I wanted to get you kicked off with first, go download the app. Do that first. All right. And I encourage you to go and play with the buttons. Go do the things and push the buttons. You're not going to break it. All right. So, kind of use yourself as this motto of what does this button do? Because you're not going to break it. You may, accidentally hit something wrong. Yesterday, I was actually in my Notepad app, for example, deleted a ton of my notes from Clubhouse. I was extremely irritated and upset. And so I went to Google, figured out a way to recover that. So everything is fixable. Okay. So don't worry about the fact that you may break something. You're not going to break it. No one's going to tell you don't touch that. So just go ahead and I challenge you to push the buttons. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. There's a couple things real quick for you to know, and I'm going to go show you a visual of this on my phone, on my app in just a little bit, but I want to give you some background and some details. So if you're struggling with communication and getting the message out, I know a lot of network marketers right now are not on Facebook. Maybe they've either left Facebook, you've connected with people through TikTok, maybe you're on Instagram, but they don't have a Facebook. Maybe they're on a Facebook hiatus for whatever reason, okay? And you still want to be able to communicate with your team. Facebook is not where it's at anymore. There's other platforms such as Clubhouse that you can connect to Instagram, for example, but that doesn't mean someone's going to be on Facebook. So your new team member is at a disadvantage to access your information if you are not able to communicate with them with important information and updates and things like that. Okay. So when you open Telegram, you have a few options. You can create a broadcast, you can do groups and channels. Okay. So when you do this, let me explain a little bit about what the differences are. A broadcast or a channel is a place for you to go do one-way communication. So if you have a Facebook bot, for example, like I used to do with onboarding, I used to have one with my team and then things kept changing. I got tired of keeping it up. It was a full-time job in itself and I was running it. I did not have that outsourced at the time. So if you have that outsourced and you know somebody that can run the bot for you through Facebook, again, you still have the problem of people not being on Facebook. But with Telegram, you can schedule posts to go out just like you can with a bot. Okay. So it's a one-way communication. It's a broadcast. It's for people to be able to get information without responding. So we have a team broadcast channel. We do different things on there. So we'll announce like upcoming events, follow-up reminders like, hey, today's the day for this. Don't forget, links, trainings, tips, all that stuff. We put those out on a one-way broadcast. People subscribe to this through a link. So if you make it public, you'll have a link that you can share and you can just share that with your team members and they will be able to automatically subscribe to it as long as they download Telegram. Again, Telegram is a free app. This doesn't cost you anything. The beauty of Telegram as well versus using WhatsApp is WhatsApp caps the room size for your groups. Okay. So you can only add a small number. I think it's 250 last time I looked on WhatsApp. However, on Telegram, you can add 200,000 people to your Telegram group. Okay. So what is the difference between a group or a channel? Channel, as we know, is a one-way communication. A group is obviously a group. It's a group chat. Now, I always encourage people when you are creating a group chat because I don't have any group on Facebook for my team. And I'll explain why in just a minute, other than the obvious that we've already talked about. However, I love to be able to communicate through chat. I am not a great person, and I know this fully that I hate moderating, running Facebook groups. It's not my thing. Obviously, with the algorithm, not everybody's going to see everything, right? So for you to be able to have a place that people can still engage, get communication, and build that sense of community. That's what I use my groups for. And Fraser Brooks, one of my mentors, taught me last year the importance of a value ladder. So you have a free group, let's say, or a newbie group. All right. From there, let's say they sponsor somebody. Then you have a rising leaders group. Let's say that person then ranks up. Then you have a ranked leaders group. Okay. So you're going to be able to create all these different things for people in different stages of their business. Maybe you have one for your personal enrollments. Okay. I like to have one for that so I can offer them different prizes, different incentives, give them shout outs. And it's kind of a small group thing because they get that intimate coaching from working with me. Whereas I focus on my team as whole group coaching. Right. So in your groups, something that you can do, just like you can do on Facebook, is you can pin an announcement. Now they actually just update it so you can pin multiple announcements. So very similar concept. So in the top of ours, and I'll show you guys this just in a little bit. But you can actually pin something to the top and it's just a whole post that you put in there and people can join your group too with a link as long as it's public. All right. You can also set different permissions for people in there. So you can help make other people admins of both the channel and the group. You can delete other people's messages. Have you ever had the struggle that you're on Facebook in a messenger and someone says something and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're mortified because it's just going to either cause a shipwreck in the chat or it's like something that was maybe kind of an embarrassing moment and you're like, oh, well, let's just kind of remove that. Well, with Facebook, you can't remove other people's comments, right? Like you have to message them like, hey, could you go take that down? And then kind of have a coaching moment with them, right? However, on Telegram, you actually, as an admin, have the authority to go delete other people's posts, which is amazing. Okay. I love that in itself because sometimes the conversation, you're in charge as the admin of steering the conversation the right way, having the intention and letting people know like, hey, this is something that maybe you should have come to me directly or your leader on, not something necessarily that needs it to be in the full group for new people to be able to have that knowledge and information. Okay. So you can also mute members. Just like you can in a Facebook group. So if someone does something repeatedly, you can mute them, kind of put them in timeout for a little bit, right? And then use that as a coaching moment like, hey, we really want to work with you. However, it looks like the conversation you're trying to steer might not be, what's best for the team, so maybe we could work a little bit together one-on-one and then we can get back to working together, and having you a part of the team. So those kind of private conversations, but again, the deleting of the other people's comments is huge. Okay. So stick around because I am going to show you this and how this works and some extra features, but I do want to run through this with you so you can see the full potential of what Telegram can do for you and your team. So the next thing is when I pin something at the top, I have a Dropbox folder with all of our units. So much like a Facebook group, they can go in there and be able to navigate through the units because I have them all on Dropbox. They can put comments because it's on Dropbox. They can give feedback because it's in Dropbox. Okay. So they have access to that tool. Just like anything, do they use it? It's up to them. You have the tools that are available for them and it gives them step-by-step instructions, which again, I'll share with you in a little bit. So we talked about the ability to have links to join, value ladders. We talked about, sorting and assigning different things. You can also upload a group photo. So for our main team group, we have a photo for that one. So it's visibly easier. I'm very, very visual. So it's visually easier for me just to go be like, meh, and pull that one without having to read each individual thing like that. Now, the awesome thing that you can also do within the Telegram chats or the groups, if you will, is you can create polls. They can be anonymous polls. They can be public polls. Okay. So the other day I polled my group, like, how often are you adding new Facebook friends? And I made that one not anonymous because I wanted to see who was actually adding. And as the admin, then I obviously needed to put mine too in order to see the other engagements. Okay. You can make them again anonymous or public. There are group types, so you can make your groups private, but keep in mind you won't be able to invite people via the link. Now, when we do our onboarding system, which has been a huge game changer for us, about 7 days in is when they get the information on how to join our initial new rep group, okay? And the reason we do that is because a confused mind does nothing. And if you're giving people too much right away, they're gonna get overwhelmed, okay? And chats can get a little bit busy. So it's important too that you let people know and have them give the expectation of, hey, our chats get super busy. We're shouting each other out. We're cheering each other on. We're laughing. We're building a sense of community. So if you're at work or you have other commitments, make sure you mute it, but go in at least once or twice a day and check it, get caught up and engage with the conversation. Okay. So that's just important thing, is making sure you're setting the proper expectation of how to use it with a new rep, especially because you want that to be a community builder and not either a distraction or a frustration for people. All right, so there's permissions that you can set for each individual user. So remember I said a few minutes ago, you can mute people. You can do that. So you can make it so they are unable to send messages. You can make it so they're unable to send attachments or media. So let's say you had somebody that sent something that was not quite appropriate. You can go delete their message and then go into the settings of their individual profile being in that group and be like, you're not sending any more things in here, okay? You can prevent them from sending gifts or stickers or polls, or you can also prevent them from adding members. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, you can pin things in there. You have group information, so you can put the purpose and overview of your group, just like you do your Facebook group. Are y'all getting a light bulb moment here about how you can use Telegram as a way to get off of Facebook? Because Facebook, a lot of people are purging from right now. And being able to have another place to build that community, you can do it with Telegram. All right. A couple quick things too is you can also make people have slow mode. So if they are in there constantly like rapid fire messaging, you can limit how fast that they respond. Okay. So whether that be a few seconds or a minute, you have complete control, which I really do enjoy being able to know that if something like an inappropriate message happens, that I can go and be like, gotta reel that one in, right? Because as a leader, as you know, it's important to steer your group in the right direction. So you can also mute members, but they will still see the content. So that's something to keep in mind as well. When you set up your group, it is important that you go back and make it so that way new people can see the chat history. This is a setting. If you don't do that, they're not going to see anything previous, which includes your pinned post. Okay. So that is a big, big, big important piece that you need to know in order to be able to have them have that information that's pinned, or they're not going to see it. All right. Like I said, in the channel and in your group, you can still schedule posts. So I schedule about 2 months at a time of Tip Tuesdays in our channel. I'll run across something. I'm like, ooh, that's a really good one. And I'll just go schedule that and I completely forget about it. So it's nice because then it's there. I don't have to worry. And the information goes out and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That was a good one. So again, your channel or your broadcast can be scheduled. It's a one-way communicator and it's just like a messenger bot. So now that we've gone through all of the vital information, let's go ahead and I will share my screen with you on my phone. So I apologize in advance if any notifications or anything like that come through while we're on here, because I will probably get a million Clubhouse notifications because I'm somewhat addicted to that app now. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into Telegram. So when you open Telegram, you have this whole, this is all, right? So I have all these different messages, all these messages, all these messages. So what I've done is I have sorted into folders, okay? And I'll show you how to do this in just a minute. And you can organize this any way you want to. The biggest thing I see with people using Telegram is they don't organize their information. And then therefore they struggle to keep up with what's happening because they simply aren't organized. But isn't that true for all of network marketing? Like, you know that that's an issue. So, I mean, let's just figure that out now, right? At any rate, let's go ahead and continue on. So I have, for example, Rob and Fraser that are in here, and they're under my mentors folder. So anytime that their channel sends something out, I will get a notification. Sorry, Tom's messaging me because I messaged him earlier. All right, now here's some of our team information. So this is like corporate messages. So, corporate contacts of people that I need to, or chats with my CEO and, or IT people, whatever. But you'll notice up here on the top side, you'll see this little pinned post, right? Oop, I don't want to actually go into that. But you will see up here this pinned post. On the right side there where it says biohacked. Okay. So for this one, what I've done is I've held it down to pin it. And so it always stays on top. So I never lose that message in that folder. Okay. So as you go through, like I have a team chat one. So this is my team. And I'm able then to just go into that folder at specific times. Have you ever, and let me know in the comments if you've struggled with this as a leader or even, just in your business as well. You've had conversations with people and they've literally got lost in your Facebook Messenger. Like you don't even know that they messaged you because it's just so far down. You're in the grind, you're grooving, like all that stuff, and you just forget about it. Well, in here, I can choose the times that I go in. Now, time blocking is important. You should know that, right? So I pick specific times when I'm mentally prepared to go in and answer those questions. Because if you're available 24/7, there's a Clubhouse invite. If you're available 24/7, then your time is not valued and appreciated. Okay. And you're not in business to work 24/7. You're just not. So schedule times, log out of the app, do you come back, log back in with the intention of going to work and messaging your team. So this is why I love having it separate from Facebook too, because Facebook, Instagram, they're places that I can connect with other people, right? To build my business. But this app specifically, I have to just communicate with my team and build my team, like work with my team. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll run over here so you can see the value ladder that I've created. So the legacy team at the top is my announcements channel. You can see that there's different things here that we've got, right, that are running through. And I love the fact that I can schedule these. So if you go down to where this little time clock is and where it says broadcast, you'll see different tips that I have scheduled and what times. Okay, so this 2 a.m. one definitely needs to be fixed, but the rest of them you'll be able to see are scheduled in here. And these are scheduled out through the month of January. So I can go in, or my assistant can go in, or my leaders can go in and schedule the post for the day, and they can just set it and forget it, which we love. Okay, so that is the channel. And this is just, again, small stuff that we just started. So we're starting to use these things in different ladders because this is newer, and we've been trying it out and we love it. And those that aren't using it efficiently aren't seeing the results that they're wanting. So make sure that you're organizing. Again, organize it. And I'll show you in just a minute how to do that. So then we have our regular team chat, which is legacy team. We have legacy team ranked leaders. We have rising leaders. And then my hustlers are my personally sponsored team. Okay. So this I absolutely love because I have the 3 pinned at the top that I'm in the most. Now the other 2 at the bottom, I'm obviously not in as often because you can see the dates on them, right? But you can see that I'm in the other ones more often, if you will. So I hope that helps as far as doing all that stuff. But let's talk really quick before I close out about setting it up and organizing it, because we've discussed the importance of the organization. We haven't showed you how to do that. All right. So if you go to the settings, you go to chat folders, you will see I have all these folders that you just saw, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually delete this one because we were doing a little team challenge and I don't need it anymore. So boop, that one's gone. But if you want to create a new one, you just go to create new folder, title your folder name. So we're just going to make it test, and you can add chats to it. Okay. So whoever you want in that folder, then you can do that. You can exclude chats as well. So the thing that is awesome about all this stuff is you can change this, modify it anytime. So if you have a new team member that's messaging you on Telegram, you can just simply go, if you've got a team chat set up, you find them and you add them to the chat, right? Ta-da! Very, very, very simple. You can also keep your phone number private. You can keep it public, however you want to do it. When you are going through there, it's just super duper important that you know the settings and you set them up properly for each group. So really quick, let's go in here. Actually, I'll show you this one here. So you can see here, just in this chat, we have about 20 people. You can see also search as well, which I forgot to mention earlier. So let me share that with you really quick. You can search media. You can search, you can search files that are sent in there. You can search voice memos, links. You can search GIFs. You can search all these things. You can also just go to the search bar and just search at the top there. I will search hashtag shout out. Okay. And it's going to pull up just like a Facebook group would anytime that is shown in the chat. Okay. So that is a nice and easy way, but here is my pinned message at the top. And this is what I was sharing with you earlier. So welcome to the Legacy team. We are excited to have you part of the family, so on and so forth, right? Have a question, go here. Are you connected to our testimonies group? Plug into our channel, which we've talked about. Our team calendar, we launch businesses at this time. Do you have a new rep? So everything is there. And then also on my channel, I have another pinned post here, and that's where our team units are that are on Dropbox. So the combination of Dropbox powered with Telegram can absolutely change the game in your business. So I hope that this brought value to you today. I hope that you see the unlimited potential that you have using Telegram, especially if you're building off of Facebook. So with that, I will see you on the next episode and have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.